The Starlight Messenger begins now. Tonight, the sky feels different, not louder, not brighter, just deeper. The stars stretch endlessly above you, but this time, you're not searching them. You're noticing them. Your steps are slower tonight, not because you're tired, but because something in you has settled. There's no urgency in your movement, no need to rush forward, no need to figure anything out, just presence, just awareness, just you existing in the quiet without resistance. The air feels cooler here, gentle against your skin, steady, consistent, unchanged. And as you walk, you begin to notice something you didn't before. Patterns, subtle at first, clusters of stars, arranged in ways that don't feel random. They've been there the whole time, unmoving, unshaken, unaffected by whether you notice them or not. You stop again, not out of confusion, but recognition, because something about this feels familiar. Not in your mind, but deeper than that, in your body, in your chest, in that quiet space within you. That doesn't need words to understand. You've seen this before, not necessarily here, not necessarily like this, but you felt it, that steady knowing that doesn't rush to explain itself, that quiet clarity that doesn't need to prove anything to be true. It doesn't flash. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't arrive dramatically. It just remains. And for a long time, you overlooked it, not because it wasn't there, but because it didn't feel urgent enough to trust, because it didn't come with pressure, because it didn't force a decision, because it didn't make noise, so you moved past it. You second-guessed it. You told yourself, if it were real, it would be louder. But that was never its nature. And standing here now, under a sky that has not changed, you begin to understand something that you didn't fully accept before. Not everything true announces itself. Not everything meant for you demands your attention. Something simply stay, patient, steady, waiting to be recognized, not chased. And as that realization settles, something within you begins to open again. Not suddenly, not all at once, but gently, like something you once trusted is being returned to you, not out loud, but clearly. You hear it, not as a voice, but as a knowing that doesn't ask to be questioned. I trust what has always been with me. I trust what does not leave, even when I ignore it. I trust what feels steady, even when everything else feels uncertain. I do not need urgency to confirm what is true. I do not need intensity to validate what I feel. I release the belief that truth must be loud to be real. I release the need for signs that disrupt when I already have ones that remain. What stays matters. What returns matters. What has always been there matters. I trust the part of me that does not panic. I trust the part of me that does not rush. I trust the part of me that already knows and is willing to wait until I'm ready to listen. Your breath deepens again, not because you forced it, but because something inside you has softened. The need to chase clarity begins to fade. The need to figure it out loosens its grip because you realize you were never without guidance. You were just looking for it in places that were louder than it needed to be, The stars above you remain unchanged, still, connected, holding their shape, whether you look at them or not. And now, you see them differently. Not as something distant, but as something reflective, a mirror of something within you that has always held its place. Even when you drifted, even when you doubted, even when you turned away, it didn't disappear. It didn't punish you. It didn't demand that you return. It simply remained. And tonight, you noticed. Your feet begin to move again, not searching, not wandering, just moving, with a quiet understanding that wasn't there before. You don't need to chase the answer. You don't need to force the path. You don't need to question every step, because something in you is already aligned, already aware, already steady. And as the constellations continue to rest above you, unchanged, unshaken, quietly present, you understand now that clarity doesn't always arrive. Sometimes it's something you return to. The message was never outside of you. It was always waiting for you to listen. Stay with that and trust what rises next.